Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Became the Next Avatar. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of the What Ifs coming your way over in Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be planning talking about all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, they were still telling Naruto about the past, and about Korra, and about Aang as well. After a while, after he was finished with his training and he needed to move on to the water element, they brought him to Republic City. As Naruto was amazed at the place, it was incredible, as he saw spirits moving all around. He met the adoptive daughter of Korra and Asami. As they told him the story, as also he spoke to Asami that night, and she told him that she had loved Korra, and she will always will, as Naruto also met her granddaughter as well. The girl was also trained to become a waterbender, so the both of them became students of her mother. As Naruto continued with his lessons there, things were going well, he was improving. As the time passed, he was then taken to the spirit world, as Naruto saw them there. Jotor told him that the spirit world reflects on the avatar emotion, so he had to keep himself in check. It was there that he met the uncle of Zuko, as Naruto went out to be one with nature. He made his way out as he tried to meditate, so that he could go into the spiritual side of the avatar, not just the physical side. He was brought towards his seal. That is where he met Rava, and not to mention the nine-tailed fox, who Rava called Krama. The fox had a name, and Rava told him that the fox wasn't entirely all at fault here. As Rava told Krama to tell Naruto the entire story, the fox sighed, but he turned towards Naruto and decided to tell him. So yeah guys, that was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? The truth is, Naruto, I didn't just appear out of nowhere and attack your village blindly. You didn't, said Naruto, as he looked towards the nine-tailed fox known as Kurama. Kurama shook his head. For you see, you were not the only one I was sealed inside of. The last one before you was your own mother, Naruto Uzumaki. Mom? Said Naruto in surprise. Yes. For many years since the time of your first Hokage, the village has kept me sealed away in another. Before your mother, it was Hoshirama's wife, Mito. And when her time came to an end, I was sealed inside for your mother. The nights when you were being born, the seal that had locked me away for so long was weakening, and I was desperate to get out. But your father was there. He would have succeeded to keep me at bay. But out of nowhere, a strange figure showed up, who captured your mother and released me. As Naruto was surprised by that, I would have gone my way to finally get away from the village. But the one who released me placed me under a genjutsu, and by the time I woke up, out of this mind control, I was in the process of being sealed away. This time, inside of you. As Naruto looked down, I never knew that, he said, realizing the fox wasn't all to blame. You would do well to remember, Naruto, while Kurama is a manifestation of chakra to you and the village, he's a creature, just like you, and like any other humans, even to us spirit, said Rava. As Naruto looked back up, but how do you two know so much about each other, he asked. This isn't our first time meeting. We met thousands of years ago when I was bounded to Won. Whoa, seriously? Said Naruto. Yes, and during that time Kurama was also sealed away, in the body of another. Rava, Kurama warned. Kurama, as a Jinjulke, he has the right to know. Know what? Said Naruto in confusion. Kurama was once a much more powerful tail beast, when he and his 8 brethren were combined. 8? Wait, there's more like Kurama out there? Correct, said Rava, starting at Kurama's tails going down. Just the one. This was a long time ago, even before the ninja nations existed. Rava, Kurama said angrily. I will not be silent, Kurama. She turned towards him. The boy has to know. Kurama turned towards Naruto. And I agree, he said. That surprised Naruto and Rava. But if he's gonna find out, I should be the one to tell him my backstory. As he always said, Rava. As Kurama looked towards Naruto. As she said, thousands of years ago, I, and 8 other tail beasts, were once single creature until we were subdued by a man known as Hagoromo Osusuke, the man that you people know as the Sage of Six Paths. The Sage of Six Paths, said Naruto, his tone sounding curious. Yes, said Kurama. He's sealed, the single demon inside of him, to protect this world from destruction. Like your avatar, Hagoromo also wants to bring peace and balance to this world, so he separated us into 9 creatures that would be known as the tail beasts. Once that was done, he gave us all names. Sometime after, Hagoromo met with us and told us that his time was coming, and despite us being separated, that we are still linked, and one day we will come together under the leadership of one who would show us what true power is about. And that was the last I ever saw of the old man, said Kurama. As Naruto saw Kurama looking rather sad, and he saw his eyes look moist. He didn't say anything, but he was starting to feel bad for the fox, because all this time he thought that he was just a mindless bad demon. Rather than spoke up, Hagoromo did say that one would arrive to lead you and your brethren together. That was a long time ago, said Kurama, and I hardly doubt that any of these humans now fit the old man bill. Don't be so sure, Kurama. After all, I think the chosen one is closer than you think. Kurama narrowed his eyes. And how do you figure that, he said. Think about it. Do you think it's pure coincidence that the new avatar is a Jinjulke? The pattern may follow the bending that one learned, but the avatar cycle just doesn't pick any specifics. And I think Naruto was chosen for a more specific reason. You believe that? Kurama asks. I do. One day, I hope you realize as well. I know that we're polar opposite, Kurama, but I ask that you help Naruto through his trials, that you will have to face in the future, just as I will be helping him. We'll see, said Kurama after eyeing both of them. He then just closed his eyes, as Rava floated down towards Naruto and placed a hand, well, a tentacle on his shoulder. Do not worry, eventually Kurama will come around. He is just a stubborn fox. If you say so, said Naruto. But Rava, how can I see you? And how haven't I contacted Korra? After all, she's my only past life. Contacting Korra will not be so easy. I was able to manifestate here, to stop the conflict between you and Kurama. But I know that Korra will come to you, when you need her the most. I hope so, said Naruto. In time, said Rava, as the era was illuminated by her light. As Naruto slowly opened his eyes, to find out that he was surrounded by many spirits. They were just looking at him. What are all of you staring at? He asked. You look so peaceful. A spirit that shaped like a jellyfish said. But their stares were getting to him, and they were getting rather close. Well, stop. It's really freaking me out, said Naruto, as the spirits floated away. Naruto, as he turned to see Jinora, and Iroh approached. Is everything alright? Iroh asked. Yeah, why? Said Naruto. The spirit world was suffering some shift in balance. Was something going on with you? Jinora asked. Actually, yes, said Naruto. I met Rava. You spoke to Rava? Iroh said in wonder. Yeah, said Naruto. And not just her. Kurama as well. Kurama? Jinora said confused. He's the one who's sealed inside me, said Naruto. The nine-tailed fox. So he also has a name, said Jinora. Yeah. And that name means a lot to him, said Naruto. Iroh nodded. Name. It's one thing that gives us our identity. I know that now, said Naruto. And he and I will have to work together from this point on. Because I think the role of Avatar is my only role in this world. He got to his feet and looked out to the horizon. Months quickly flew by as Naruto continued his training, and he visited many different places. He visited our kingdom, the Fire Nation, and even the North and South Water Tribe. And he continued his training the entire time. And just like that, the time blew by. About 6 years passed. At the moment, Naruto was currently 13 years old, as he stood outside of the temple. He was wearing blue boots, green pants, and a red sleeveless shirt. In his right hand was an old, ear-bending glider. As he felt a nudge behind him as he turned and came face to face with a green dragon, who was the size of a stallion. The dragon snorted, as Naruto smiled and rubbed the dragon's head. "We're going to Konoha, Sorith, where it all began for me. The villagers, who remember me, will be rather surprised when they see I'm not that little kid, that he can push around anymore," as he laughed. Naruto's the voice, as he looked up. Jinora was on top of Pepper, above him. "Are you ready to go?" she asked. "Of course," said Naruto. "Then let's hurry," she said, as Naruto flipped on his dragon's back. "Alright buddy, let's fly," he said. The dragon spread his wings and flew. "Let's get going then," said Jinora, and this time, don't turn it into a race. Okay, said Naruto, as they flew off, their destination being Konoha. And in actuality, he was looking forward to seeing the village once again. Time skip. They finally arrived as they touched down in the forest of Konoha, where Hiruzen was there waiting for them. "Ah, Jinora, it's good to see you again. And wonderful to see you too, Hiruzen," Jinora greeted. "Hey Jiji, how's it going?" said Naruto. Hiruzen turned his head. He was at loss for words as he looked at the boy. "Naruto, it really is you," he said. "Who did you expect?" he asked rhetorically. "I'm just amazed by how much you've grown in the past few years," Hiruzen said, as the both of them hugged. "I know," said Naruto. "I used to only be up to your knees," as he chuckled. As Hiruzen looked past Naruto as he saw Jinora, Sky Bison, and next to it was a dragon. "Is that a dragon?" he said. "Yep, and he's mine," said Naruto. "Yours?" Hiruzen said. "Yeah, come on," said Naruto, "I'll introduce you." As Naruto brought him over. "Jiji, this is Sorith. Sorith, this is the old man Hokage," said Naruto. The dragon seemed to be rather stern as he looked towards Hiruzen. As Naruto chuckled, "Don't worry. He's rather docile," said Naruto. The dragon then released a playful grunt, as Naruto used Hiruzen's hand and placed it on the dragon's head. Hiruzen saw the dragon not doing anything until he pet his head. But it turned out that the dragon was enjoying it. Hiruzen smiled. The dragon was really docile. "Naruto, how did you come across the dragon?" he asked. "When I was traveling to the Fire Nation a few years back, I found him lost in the woods, abandoned and injured," said Naruto. "I brought him back and tended to his injuries, with the help of Master Jinora. At first, he was a fussy baby dragon, but I showed him I was his friend, and I just wanted to help him. Eventually, he grew attached to me, and we grew up together," said Naruto. Hiruzen smiled happily. Well, that was good. "How has things been in the village since we left?" "We had some setbacks, but things have been normal, as they can," Hiruzen said. "Although my teammates and Danzo have constantly questioned the whereabouts of Naruto, but I told them nothing." "Then they're sure to be in for a surprise," Jinora said as she chuckled a bit. "There's going to be one problem though," said Naruto. "I don't think my old apartment's gonna welcome a dragon in it." "Don't worry, Naruto. You won't be returned to that place," Hiruzen said. "So then where'd I live?" said Naruto. "Not to worry. I have living arrangements for both you and your dragon. Unless he gets any bigger." "Don't worry. This is about as big as he gets. Not too big, not too small." "Well then, follow me, and I'll show you to your new home," Hiruzen said. "Better cover Sorith in case," said Naruto, as he put some camouflage tarp over the dragon, as Pepper stayed behind. As they walked, the three of them surrounded Sorith. As they arrived to a normal-looking home, well, this is it. As Naruto looked up at the place. "This is where I'm living now," he said. "That's right. This was meant to be your home since your parents owned it," said Hiruzen. "Really?" said Naruto, as Hiruzen handed over the key to him. As Naruto unlocked the door, he went inside. The living room was wide and spacious. As Jinora, Hiruzen, and his dragon entered behind him. The dragon looked around for a moment before it curled up on the floor. "Looks like Sorith has already made this place his home." As Hiruzen turned towards Naruto, "Jinora told me that you came a long way from starting out with your bending elements. You have no idea," said Naruto. "She's also told me how much you learned from the jutsu scroll I gave you." "Yeah, I'm especially good at using the Sharingan jutsu. I can make a lot. And I mean a lot," said Naruto. "Such a technique is rather difficult to learn, given that it splits your chakra. But because you have the fox inside of you, and it naturally makes your chakra capacity rather larger, you can do it better than most older shinobis." "Thanks," said Naruto. But from now on, don't refer to the fox as a it, said Naruto. Because it's a he, and his name is Kurama. Hiruzen looked curious. Have you met with the fox spirit? I have, said Naruto. And he's not so bad once you get to know him, trust me. I had these last few years to get to know him, said Naruto. Jinora then asked a question. Since you had Naruto learn those jutsus, would you be able to enroll into the Ninja Academy? Since he's missed a couple of years. Of course, Hiruzen said. With all that he's learned, he should be able to skip all the previous years and go right to the final year. And get the graduation underway. Plus, once he's a ninja, you'll be able to leave the village more, especially while he's on a team. I understand, said Jinora. Why don't you go and get settled in, Naruto? I need to make the forms to enroll you into Ninja Academy, said Hiruzen. Sure thing, said Naruto. Jinora made herself comfy on the sofa. As Hiruzen made his way off. Jinora knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but she had to tell him. Naruto, come sit by me for a moment, she said. As Naruto paused and came over. What is it, he asked. Naruto, you know that I'm needed at the temple to help my husband train the airbenders, you know? Of course I do, said Naruto. Then you understand I can't be with you this often anymore. He looked up at her. You mean I won't be seeing you again? Not as much as before, she admitted. But don't worry, if you ever need my wisdom, just meditate in the spirit world and find me. I will know if you're there. As Naruto looked down sad, Master Jinora, he said, I've been with you so long. You became like a mother to me, he said. I know. And you've been a wonderful airbending student. I would also like to think of you as a son, she said, as she pulled him into a hug. I'll miss you, Master, said Naruto. There, Naruto. It's not really goodbye after all. Later that day, as Jinora was mounting Pepper. Well, Naruto, it's time for me to go, she said. You'll still write to me, won't you, said Naruto. You know I will, and I'll make sure to have the rest of your masters write you a letter as well. Thank you, Master Jinora, said Naruto, as he bowed his head in respect. And good luck to you, Avatar Naruto, she said. Pepper, yip. As Pepper took off in the sky as Naruto waved goodbye. Later that night, as Naruto was lying on his bed, as he thought tomorrow he was going to be enrolled into Ninja Academy, Master Jinora told him not to use his bending just yet, and he won't disobey her. And he eventually fell asleep. The next morning, after finishing the morning activities, I will be back soon, Sarad, said Naruto. As the dragon yawned. Good boy, said Naruto. Remember, don't get in any trouble, he said. As Naruto made his way off, he arrived towards the tower. Good morning, Gigi, he said. Good morning, Naruto. I have your enrollment form, right here. Thanks, said Naruto. I'll see you later, Gigi, he said. As Naruto made his way to the village, he noticed many of them recognized him. After all this time away, as he heard them talking, I thought he was dead. Well, I guess it's true a demon doesn't die so easily. He should have stayed gone. This village is much better without him. As Naruto frowned, how the hell could it have been better without him when he did nothing to them? Before he calmed himself down. Easy, Naruto, he said. Remember what you've learned. Just let it go, he said. As he arrived towards the Ninja Academy, as he came towards the office, as he saw the Chunin there. Excuse me, can I help you, the man asked. I am Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm here to enroll in Ninja Academy, said Naruto. Enroll? I'm afraid you're too late for that. You should have started years ago, the man said. Perhaps this will change your mind, said Naruto, as he handed the man the scroll. The Chunin took it and opened it, as he saw the Hokage's stamp of approval and the instructions. Very well, he said. The class that you'll be stationed in will be taught under Iruka Mino, he said. This is his classroom. You better hurry. Classes will be starting soon. Thank you, said Naruto as he made his way off. He arrived towards the door and knocked when he heard the voice. Come in. As Naruto pulled the door open and entered, students were already near. The class was already, at session. Some of them looked at him curiously, never seen him before. Can I help you? Iruka asked. Iruka Mino, said Naruto. That's me. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. And the third requested that I start the academy at the final year, with your current class, said Naruto. There was a pause, until majority of the students started to laugh as a boy spoke up. Huh, that's a good one. Yeah, like the Hokage would just let someone join the academy, when we've been here for all the years, a girl said, laughing. As Naruto simply handed his paper over towards Iruka. As Iruka looked over the paper, well, it seems according to the Hokage, you've been training by yourself for these years, and know all the ninja basic skills. Then I can enroll, said Naruto. Not quite yet. I would like to see your skills up close. We have a training exercise run today, so we'll see what you can do there. Very well, said Naruto. In the meantime, take a seat and we'll see how well you do on written assignments, Aruka said. Okay, said Naruto. He noticed majority of the seat at the front was taken as he made his way to the back to sit by himself. As the papers were handed out, despite learning how to physically train, Naruto had been given lessons by majority of professors, learning how to solve equations and many other things by Akaiza. When they handed in their tests, Aruka started to grade them as he got them back, as Naruto got a perfect score. Well, now then, class, Aruka said, let's go outside. It's physical testing today. They stood in a training ground. There was a dummy, and a target on his chest was set up. As Aruka spoke, we will be starting with the shuriken and kunai testing, he said. Naruto watched as many kids step forward, as some of them hit it but some of them missed badly. Next up, Sasuke Uchiha, Aruka announced. As Naruto saw the boy step out of the crowd, he noticed a sign on his back of his shirt. He knew of the Uchihas, of course, and he knew about the genocide that happened to their clan. The girls cheered him on instantly. As he moved, he hit all of the targets and the cheers increased until the time finally came for Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, Aruka said. As Naruto pulled the kunais and threw them, it hit in the arms and the legs. Huh? You miss. You didn't even hit a single one of them. A boy with a puppy on his head said. Open your eyes, pal, said Naruto. You would see. I actually score better. That can't be right. You didn't hit any of the targets, a pink-haired girl said. Well, the spot on the chest is not the only target, said Naruto. If you look closer, the arms and the legs, they will be a more effective part to hit. Disabling the legs by hitting those spots, you won't be able to walk. And hitting the arms, they won't be able to attack you, said Naruto. Aruka smiled at that. That's very impressive, Naruto. You're the first one here that looked for another meme. Thank you, said Naruto. The next up was basic hand-to-hand spars, as Naruto watches everyone start to engage each other, and when they were done they show respect to each other. As Aruka went over the list and he saw the names, Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Uzumaki, please step forward. But Aruka-sensei, it wouldn't be fair to put Sasuke against a new boy. A girl spoke up. Yeah, he would just clubber him, another girl said. Hey, I'm right here, you know, said Naruto. They were talking like he wasn't even there. And don't assume I will go down that easily. Correct. But just a fair warning, Naruto, Sasuke is a top student in the class. Well, that makes it all the more better, said Naruto, as he looked towards Sasuke with determination. Sasuke gave him a glance, like he wasn't even worth his time. Alright, begin! Sasuke was the first one to move in to end this quickly, as he came in with a punch, but Naruto simply twirled around. Be the leaf, he thought to himself. As he moved his body around Sasuke and his punch, everyone was surprised. As Sasuke attacked once again. Look at his moves, the pink-haired girl said. It's like he's dancing. A girl with pale eyes said. Whoa. The boy with the dog on his head said. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Why can't I hit him, he thought to himself. But then he smirked. This was actually a challenge, unlike the others. He launched himself with a spinning kick, as Naruto pulled his body way back to the point where his hand touched the ground. He then flipped over Sasuke as he landed. Before Sasuke could turn, he swept away his leg, as Sasuke fell on his back. And that's game, Aruka said, as Naruto looked down as he offered a hand to Sasuke. Good moves, he said. All of the boys' students waited for Sasuke to brush him off like he always did with them. But to their utter shock, Sasuke took his hand. You're not so bad yourself, Sasuke said as he got back to his feet. You're a better chance than these other guys here. Thanks, said Naruto. But next time, I won't lose, Sasuke said, as they made a seal. Well, Naruto, I say that you more than prove your worth. We're just a few weeks away from the finals though. But from now on, you're part of Ninja Academy, Aruka said. Thank you, Sensei, said Naruto. When class was over as Naruto was leaving, hey, hold on there, as Naruto paused. It was a pink-haired and blonde-haired girl from the class. As Naruto turned towards him, oh, you two, he said. What were your names again? I am Sakura Haruno, the pink-haired girl introduced. And I am Ino Yamanaka. A pleasure, said Naruto. First off, Sakura said, I won't say I'm surprised that you were able to beat Sasuke like that. And the way you fought, how were you able to move like that, said Naruto. Well, I pretended I was a leaf in the wind, said Naruto. Leaf in the wind? They asked. Yeah. I let the wind guide my movements when I fight. I've never heard of that style before, Sakura said. As Ino spoke up, by the way, I like your clothes. Especially those boots. Where did you get them? Well, I had them imported from a place far south, said Naruto. As he gave them a smile. It was nice talking to you girls. Bye now, he said. As he made his way, he better pick up some fish for a start, or he will be mad. As he was making his way home, he heard sound of fighting going on. As he found the pale-eyed girl, as she was practicing against some posts. As he watched her, as she clashed against a post. He heard her name was called in the test. She was Hinata Hyuga from the Hyuga clan. Once she was finished, as she was taking in some deep breaths, she heard clapping as she spun around. Impressive. Very impressive. I heard the Hyugas were good with their fists, but their reputation doesn't do you any justice. She was taken aback by the unexpected audience. Oh, you're the new student in the academy. Naruto Uzumaki. That's my name, he said. And you're Hinata Hyuga, correct? As she nodded. Well, nice to meet you, he said. Nice to meet you too, she said. So, you practice by yourself, he asked. Yes, I mean I used to practice with my little sister and my cousin, but... As she looked down. But, said Naruto. As her face turned sad. I was labeled a failure by my father and cousin, she said. What? Said Naruto. Who the hell tells someone that you're a failure? My family, she said. I try so hard to push myself past my limits, but it's never enough. Well, we can't have that, said Naruto. She was confused as she looked up. Everyone is capable of getting stronger. You just need to be more confident in your abilities. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. You think I can get stronger? She asked. Her tone hopeful. Not think, said Naruto. I know. And I would like to help. Help me? She said. That's right. I'd like to be your sparring partner of the classes. We can learn plenty from sparring with each other. Really? That would be nice of you, she said. Great, said Naruto. Shall we meet here after class tomorrow? Of course, she said. Well then, see you then, as he walked off. A small smile came on her face. It seems that there are some good people out there. As Naruto came across one of his favorite places when he used to be in the village, Ichiwaka Ramen. It's been a while. As he entered, welcome, the chef Toki greeted him. Hey sir, said Naruto. You might not remember me, but I used to come here a lot when I was a little boy. Said Toki as he narrowed his eyes towards Naruto. As he studied Naruto's appearance for a good minute, until a smaller version of Naruto came back to him as he merged them together. Hey, wait a minute. I do remember you. Naruto, isn't it? So you do remember me, said Naruto. How could I forget that face, said Toki, as someone came from behind the back. Dad? As it was his daughter, Ayam. What's going on? Look who's come back to us, Ayam. As she narrowed her eyes towards the boy. Wait, Naruto? Is that you? In the flesh, said Naruto. You got all grown up, she said. Physically and mentally, he said. Well, it's good to see you, said Toki. Our shop hasn't been the same without you. Well, now I'm back, said Naruto. And I'm hungry for some ramen. Say no more, we're on it. While that was going on, Hiruzen was currently in a meeting with Danzo and his teammates. As Danzo spoke up, Hiruzen, is it true that Naruto Uzumaki has returned to the village? Yes, Danzo, it is true, Hiruzen said. And you just allow him to enter the Ninja Academy. At the final year, without going through the bottom, Iruka has already sent me the results. Naruto has proven to be too advanced for those at the first year, and any lower, Hiruzen said. He even managed to outmatch Sasuke, the top student. What? Koharu said. You don't expect us to believe that. The runner of Rookie of the Year was taken down by a ninja training experience student. Do you actually expect us to believe that, Danzo asked? Naruto has had plenty of training in these past 6 years. And when the time comes, you better be ready for what he has in store. Why does that sound like a threat, Hiruzen? Asked Danzo. You should know by now, I don't make threats, Hiruzen said. I'm the one who makes promises. They had nothing more to say as they left. Hiruzen looked through his crystal ball as he saw Naruto at home. He was feeding his dragonfish. I wish you the best of luck for whatever you face from this point on. Hiruzen thought with a smile on his face. Time skip. 3 weeks passed since Naruto became a member of the Ninja Academy. During those weeks, he made a couple of friends, such as Shikamaru, Choji, and Shino, as he showed Shikamaru a game known as Paisho. as he enjoys snacks with Choji, and not to mention, he realized how important bugs are, insects to Shino. Even Sasuke became his friend, but more of a rival. Kiba was envious of Naruto's skill, just popping up in the academy, and he was already stronger than him. And like he promised Hinata, he started training with her after class. And today was finally the day of the graduation tests. As Naruto was patting Sora's head, today's final day, he said, "Wish me luck." As his dragon simply gargled in response, as Naruto smiled and headed off. As he was making his way through the village, he was not a stranger of being watched, but someone was watching him rather poorly, as he turned to see a rock disguise. This was not any ordinary rock, it was shaped like a box, with eye holes in it. "Konohamaru, a rock isn't naturally square," he said. As it was a poof as Konohamaru jumped out of the disguise that he thought would work. "Huh, seems that nothing will get past you, huh, big brother Naruto," he said. "I know," said Naruto, "but just keep at it. Maybe one day you'll fool me." "And I promise I will," said Konohamaru, as he ran off. Naruto smiled as he continued on. He had met Konohamaru through the Hokage, and the boy has been destined to prank him ever since. As Naruto finally arrived at the academy, he found an empty seat next to Hinata and Sakura. "Hey girls, mind if I join you?" he said. "Good morning," Naruto, Hinata greeted. "Not at all, have a seat," said Sakura, as Naruto sat in between them. "So, you too nervous about the exam?" Naruto asked. "Not a bit," Sakura said. "I think we'll all do fine," Hinata said. "So do I," said Naruto. Soon after, Aruka entered the class. "Good morning, class," he said, as they all greeted him with a "Good morning, Aruka-sensei. I hope you all are prepared for this day, because today is where we test the basic requirements for you to become a shinobi of this village. If you pass, you'll be given a headband, just like mine." One after another, the students were being called. As he saw them came back over their headband, they had passed, until his name was finally called. As Naruto made his way, "That's my cue," he said. "Good luck, Naruto," said Hinata. "Thanks," said Naruto as he made his way to the other room, where he saw both Mizuki and Aruka. As Naruto narrowed his eyes towards Mizuki, there was something about the man that Naruto didn't understand. Although he was acting rather nice, there was just something uncomfortable about him. "Now then, Naruto, to pass the exam, you would be required to perform the transformation jutsu and the clone jutsu." Naruto blinked. "That's all?" "Alright then," he said. As Naruto placed his hands together, there was a poof, as he transformed into a teenage Korra. As he returned back to normal. "Good job, Naruto. So who was that you changed into?" asked Aruka. "Perhaps a secret girlfriend of yours," Mizuki teased. "Nothing like that," said Naruto. "Let's just say it was someone special and leave it at that." "Now, you're required to make at least 2 clones," said Aruka. As Naruto brought his hands together, "Shadow Clone Jutsu," he said as it was a poof. Mizuki and Aruka blinked in shock. "Naruto, that's a Shadow Clone." "Yep, and that's better than average clone jutsu." "So," the clone spoke up, "do I pass?" "You pass," said Aruka, as he presented Naruto the headband. "Wear this with honor and loyalty, Naruto," he said. "Will do, Sensei," said Naruto, as he pushed his hair back and tied it on his forehead. As Naruto returned back to the classroom. "Congratulations, Naruto," said Sakura. "Thanks, Sakura," said Naruto. "I'm so happy for you," said Hinata. "Thanks, and I'll be happy for you when you pass the well," said Naruto. "Hey, what about me?" Sakura asked. "Of course I'll be happy for you as well," said Naruto. Once everything was over, Naruto felt a bit sad, because there was no one out there to congratulate him. But he shrugged it off and made his way home. When nighttime fell, Naruto was on his roof with Sora. "You ready, boy?" asked the dragon girl in excitement, as he had his glider in his hand as he spread it. "Let's go," he said, as Naruto took off in the air using his staff to fly. Sora flapped his wings and took off after his partner. Every night time they fly through the village, so Sora could get it to exercise, since he couldn't do it at daytime. Too much suspicion. As they flew above the forest area, they twirl and twist, doing some tricks with perfect synchrony. After they flew around enough, Naruto spoke up. "How about we head back, boy?" he said. But before Sora could answer, Naruto saw someone dashing through the forest with a large scroll on their back. "Scratch that," said Naruto. "Something is up." As he flew down, the dragon flying behind him. They got down close as Naruto hushed Sora to hold back, as he flew off ahead of the figure and landed on a tree branch. "Hold it right there," he said. The person stopped. "Pretty big scroll you have there, and with the Hokage seal on it as well. Naruto paused. "Mizuki?" "Naruto, there isn't time," Mizuki said. "I just stole this scroll back from some thief, and they're after me right now." "Thieves?" said Naruto. Yes, I want you to go to Hokage and inform him of this matter. You're lying. What? What are you talking about? Don't play innocent, Mizuki, said Naruto. You're the thief. That's a bold accusation, Naruto. Well, I just came back from there and I didn't see any thief. Just you running away. Mizuki's face changed as it became cold like ice. Yes. I guess you found me out, he said. But why? Well, let's just say I knew a few people that would pay a fortune for this scroll, Mizuki said. So you're betraying the village, said Naruto. And you're worse than a traitor, Mizuki said. And what's that supposed to mean, said Naruto. You mean you don't know? Well, you wouldn't, since it's forbidden to be said. Well, I'll tell you. You see the nine-tailed fox attacked the village all those years ago, and killed so many four shinobis, and took the fourth Hokage in death with him, is actually you. That's right. You're that demonic fox that killed so much people. You're an abomination. You're a monster. So, you're worse than any traitor. Mizuki had to leap as Naruto blasts a shot of fire towards him. Mizuki looked down as he saw Naruto's hand smoking. Huh. Guess you have some tricks up your sleeve. Well, I can't afford to waste any time. Seems you're unfazed by what I just said, but it doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere, said Naruto. We're not gonna let you. Who's we, said Mizuki. Me and that guy, said Naruto. As he whistled, a roar went off in the forest. Mizuki looked around confused. What the hell was that? As Sarit dropped from the sky as he shot a fireball towards Mizuki. Mizuki leaped away as the fireball created a crater in the ground. Who the hell is that? He said. This is the last night for you, as a free man, said Naruto. As Naruto jumped forward and stomped his foot in the ground, a boulder came up as he launched it towards Mizuki. Mizuki launched himself as he dropped to the side. He placed the scroll over as he pulled a giant Fuma shuriken from his back and launched it towards Naruto. Naruto brought his hand up as the shuriken suddenly changed trajectory and rushed back towards Mizuki. Mizuki jumped as it impaled a tree behind him. What the hell is going on? How are you this strong? Shows how little you know about me, said Naruto. And get this to your head, I'm not a demon. I am much more. I am the Avatar. And I think it's time for you to pay for your crimes. Mizuki spat. A brat like you think you can take me, he said. Well, before that, I got a class to teach you. I never liked you in the first place, said Naruto. And now, let me introduce you to Pain 101. Pain 100 and what? Shadow Clone Jutsu, said Naruto, as 100 clones poof into existence. And I'm your instructor. Moments later, Mizuki was on the ground twitching. He was beaten to a pulp. And that take care of that. Sorith heard people approach as he flew up in the trees hiding. As Aruka arrived with his fellow tunings, Aizumo and Kitetsu. Naruto, Aruka said. Hey sensei, what kept ya? Said Naruto. What happened here? Said Aizumo, seeing Mizuki unconscious. I caught him stealing the scroll from the vault, so I took him down. By yourself? Kitetsu asked, not believing it. Well, he may talk a big game, but it seems like talk is all it is, said Naruto. Well done, Naruto, Aruka said. Not even a shinobi for a full day, and you've done the village proud already, by catching a traitor. As Naruto yawned, well, you guys can take that traitor back. I'm tired, I'm gonna get some sleep, as he made his way off. When they arrived back home, well, tonight we'll be sleeping like heroes, said Naruto, as the dragon roared, well, not too loudly, as Sarith rolled up and went to sleep. As Naruto folded his legs, he was gonna tell Master Jinora the good news. When Naruto reopened his eyes, he was in the spirit world, and right outside Aru's tea shop. The shop was closed for the night time in the spirit world, but he did see two people inside. It was Aru and Jinora. Room for one more, said Naruto. The two looked over and saw the unexpected night visitor. Naruto, welcome, Jinora said. Always a place here for you, said Aru. Have some tea. Thank you, Aru, said Naruto. What brings you here so late? Asked Jinora. Well, first off, I earned this day, said Naruto. The Konoha headband, Aru said. You graduate from Ninja Academy. Precisely, said Naruto. Congratulations, Naruto, Jinora said. I'm happy for you. Thank you, Master, said Naruto. And that's not the only thing that happened tonight. I stopped a traitor who was trying to steal a forbidden scroll from the village. Really? Jinora said. That's right, me and Sarith took him down like that. Was Sarith seen? Asked Jinora. Not at all, said Naruto. That's good. Not everyone in the living world can take it easy to see a dragon like we airbenders might. I know, said Naruto. Before you go, Naruto, how about a quick game of Paicho? Haru said. I would be honored, said Naruto, with a smile on his face, as the old man sat at the Paicho board. The next morning, Naruto awoke, as Naruto created a bowl of food for Sarith. As he got everything done, as he said his goodbye and made his way off, as Naruto jumped from rooftop to rooftops, using the ear to guide him most of the time, as he finally arrived to the academy, as he landed in a flip. Before he could pick a seat, Ino called him over. Naruto, over here. Hinata was also sitting there. Good morning, girl, said Naruto. What's up? What isn't up, said Ino. This is our final day as a class. She's right. Who knows what will happen after today, Hinata said. I'm sure everything will go well, said Naruto as he came back, as Aruka entered the class and he greeted them back. I'm glad to see that all of you could have made it. I'm proud to be your academy instructor for all these years, Aruka said. As he smiled towards them, he was proud. But now it's time for you guys to move on and serve your village as fellow Konoha Shinobis. Now then, all of you will be paired off in a team of 3 under the guidance of Konoha Jonin. So listen carefully as he started. Teams of 3, huh? Said Naruto, as he wondered what team he would be on. Aruka then reached Team 7 as he called Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto glanced towards them, he gave them a smile. That would be just fine. Hinata looked down sadly. I want to be with Naruto, she said. Ino got rather envious as she glanced towards Sakura. Why does she get to be with the both of them? Next is Squad 8, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba, Inazaka, Shino Aberami. As Hinata looked towards her new teammates, Kiba had this cockiness about him that she didn't really like so much, but he was fine. Shino on the other hand, he socialized with Naruto, but not everyone else. Squad 9 will remain active. Squad 10 was Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka, and Choji Akimichi. Troublesome, said Shikamaru. His head was on tail, but he heard everything. Well, Ino said, I guess it was only natural. We would be carrying on our family legacy, like I thought. Your Jonins will be by to pick you up momentarily. Good luck to all of you, Aruka said. As Aruka left, one after another, the Jonins came and picked up their teams. The only team that remained was Squad 7, who looked bored out of their minds, waiting for their sensei. A long time passed. Where the hell is he? Said Naruto. That's what I want to know, said Sakura, as Sasuke just huffed. After a few more moments, the door opened up to show Kakashi Hatake, former Envoy member known as Inu. Squad 7, I presume, he said. Yes, and if you're a sensei, you're late, said Sakura. Sorry about that. I got lost in the road of life. As Naruto narrowed his eyes towards the man, Inu? He wondered. Well then, meet me up on the rooftop, and let's get to know each other. With that he poofed away. Soon enough they were on the rooftop. Let's start things off with your likes, your dislikes, your hobbies, and your goals. Why don't you go first, said Naruto, so we can get the idea. Well, alright, as you know, my name is Kakashi Hatake, and I'm a Jonin. I prefer to keep my likes and dislikes to myself. And my goals are... well, I never set any goals for myself. That's helpful, Naruto thought. Alright then, let's start with you, as he pointed towards Naruto. Okay then. The name is Naruto Uzumaki. Like training, eating ramen, the people I look up to and admire. My hobbies are including training, relaxing, and just having a good time. My dislikes are corrupted, imbalanced, oppressors, dictators, and just plain bullies. My goal one time was to become Hokage and achieve acknowledgement, but now I'm gonna bring balance and peace to the entire world. Sakura looked towards him. She didn't know that he was affected by corruption and dictators. She wondered why. Impossible, Sasuke thought. Bring balance and peace to the world. As Kakashi smiled to himself, seems your avatar training has done wonder to your outlook on life. He then turned towards Sakura. You next, he said. My name is Sakura Haruno, she said. I like hanging out with friends and studying. My hobbies include cooking, improving my ninja skills, and being with my friends, she said, as she eyed her new teammates. My dislikes include people that underestimate me, and when people talk about my... As she glanced up at her forehead, never mind that. My goal is to be the best Kunoichi I can be, she said. Kakashi nodded. Now, for you, he said. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I hate plenty of things. My goals are training and pushing myself past my limits. My hobbies are sparring at the moment with Naruto, since he's the only one strong enough to keep up with me. As Naruto smiled at that, my goal is to avenge my clan and bring the one who took it from me to face punishment. After a brief moment of silence, Kakashi spoke up. Alright, tomorrow morning we'll meet up for your final test, he said. Final test, said Sasuke. But we already graduated, Sakura asked. Well, that test was essential for you to graduate from the academy. But this test is for me to see if you're ready to become actual Genins. What? Said Sakura, as they were surprised by that. They had another test? But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part of this season 2, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification say posted. Remember, share all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay tuned for the rest of the what ifs coming your way over in Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, I do have 3 channels. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.